I want to tell you about a story of how we do want to interact with visitors. During our last night in Kansas City, we were at a hamburger chain restaurant that's known in Kansas City, and we asked our server, who, mind you, was a high school student, what we should do on our last day in Kansas City, if there was anything special we needed to see. And he looked at us and he said, "Oh my gosh, you have got to see the Downtown Plaza." We had never heard of it. We went to the plaza and it was fantastic. Well, several years later, I landed back in Kansas City for a work conference, and I made a point to go back to the plaza where I took hundreds of photos that I could share with our communities. Now, during my research of the plaza, I discovered that they're known for their Christmas lights in the plaza. So, family and friends of mine, we flew to Kansas and we had this great weekend. We stayed at the hotels, we ate at restaurants, and we visited several attractions. All of that happened because that server was so excited and passionate about his area. Now, I want to share one more story. In April of 2005, the Lincoln Museum opened in Springfield, Illinois. And I went down shortly after it opened because we were starting to get into product development in our destination, and I was told this was a museum we definitely had to see. So on this trip, I took my mom because she was always up for an adventure, but she wasn't a real fan of history, but she put that aside anyway because she's like, it's a road trip. We get there and we're eating at a restaurant right before we go to the Lincoln Museum, and the waitress could tell we weren't from the area. So she asked us why we were in town, and we told her we were there to see the Lincoln Museum. And then she said, oh my gosh, they allowed the community to preview the museum, and she said it was fantastic. She made a special note of saying that she wasn't a fan of history, but this museum was spectacular. Just the way she talked about the museum got my mom extremely excited to go see the museum. To this day, the Lincoln Museum is by far the best museum I have ever gone to. I share these stories with you because I want you to know that you too can have that same impact that those two servers had on me when I was in another destination. And that's why we want you to be excited to learn more about our area.